Hi guys, Jamie here, and today I'm going to be telling you how we made £20,000 in one weekend. But before I do that, please hit like and subscribe for more great content. So, can that actually be true? Did we really make £20,000 in one weekend? Well, if it seems too good to be true, then it usually is. But in this case, there's a lot of truth to my statement. So cast your minds back to when I bought this flat in Newport way back in, I think it was April, maybe May 2021.
Living in a hoarder's paradise.
Again?
Bathroom on the left. What room? Nice. New wet room.
Yeah.
Covered offset. Storage tank. Fuse box. There's more writing on here. This is minging. Bedroom. Main bed, I'm guessing. A lot of smoke damage. Second bed, new carpet needed. You can see the smoke damage on the walls.
As you can see, the state of that flat is pretty shabby. I mean, the backstory of it, if you want me to share, it was actually a mother who was selling it because her son unfortunately had died in the property. So as well as being an absolute mess, the smell was really bad. There'd obviously been a lot of drink, potentially drugs going on in there. The sofa in which the person was living there and died on, it was actually still there. So it was pretty grim. But nonetheless, what that did for us is allowed us to buy the property at a discounted rate. You can imagine that if the estate agents are selling that property, it's not exactly going to be for everybody. Sold in the state it was. So we bought it for a discounted rate because the vendors were desperate to sell. They really wanted to sell. They had lots of inheritance issues they needed to sort out. So we managed to purchase that flat for £95,000. 2-bedroom flat in Newport. Bear in mind that today, in January 2022, I've just been to view a similar style flat in Newport, similar condition. Well, the decor was from about the 50s, and that's on for £120 all day long, and they've already had offers over asking price. So £95,000 for a flat that was built in the year 2000, should be good condition, was an absolute steal of a deal. How did we get it for such a good price? The answer to that is building relationships. It's one of the things that I'm sort of pretty obsessive with in terms of this property journey, is building relationships with agents, building relationships with other property investors, other sources, that sort of thing. Just getting yourself out there. This is part of the reason that I do the YouTube channel, just getting yourself out there, having conversations with people, talking the same language, building up that network of like-minded individuals. So that's how we managed to get the flat for such a good deal. Our original plan was to gut it because the fundamentals of the flat were actually in pretty good condition. The walls, for the most part, I know there was a couple of holes here and there, but the walls for the most part were good. The room sizes were great. It wouldn't have taken too much, just a very big deep clean and some decoration, essentially. No plaster work was needed, no electrical work was needed, no gas, anything like that. So the fundamentals were good. So our plan was to give it a refurb and sell it for potentially 120 or just rent it out. Although the service charges and ground rent were quite high, so that was our secondary option. Then something came out of the blue. Going back to that building relationships, my business partner, he had a relationship with a guy who buys loads of properties in Newport and was desperate for a ground floor flat that was accessible for disabled people, which this one was. You know, it had ramp access to it, it was nice and wide for the doorways, for wheelchairs to get in and out. And he was more than happy to take that property off our hands for £118,500. So we bought that flat, completed on the sale on the Friday, and we had agreed a sale to this other guy for £118,500 by the Monday. That's nuts. Sticking our on costs onto that 95, call it 98, 98 and a half, there was a 20k margin in there. And I don't mind sharing with you that I actually viewed that property only once. My business partner went there twice, and that was the entirety of our relationship with the flat. And the investor who bought it, he's keeping it out, he's letting it, he's really happy with it. He spoke to us since, and you know, been over the moon with it, asked if we actually had another one. And ironically, the other ground floor flat in that block was for sale, but unfortunately we missed out on it. The crux of this video, what I'm trying to get across, there's no magic wand. Yeah, it's a great headline, great tagline, and there is a caveat which I'll come on to in a second. But the crux of it is, if you're building relationships, you're talking to the right people on both ends. You know, you're talking to the right people who can sell you the properties, and then you're talking to the right people who are looking to buy properties. You get yourself in a very privileged position as a middleman, and that was quite opportunistic for us in that instance. I mean, we weren't intended to sell it straight away. Bearing in mind, we didn't have to do any work. There was not one skip removed from there. There was not one bin bag that we took out, not one lick of paint that we had to put on. That 20k was straight profit. The caveat that I was talking about, because there always is one, like I said, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is, was that after that sale was agreed on the Monday, it then took around 3 months to actually complete, which was an absolute pain. But, you know, that's just the way of it. So in theory, 20k in a weekend, top job. In practice, by the time we agreed the sale to originally purchase it, to the time that we completed on the final sale when we sold it on, was actually around 6 months. So 20k in 6 months didn't have as good a ring to it, but 20k in a weekend, absolutely. And if you're interested, here is the video for what it looked like afterwards. Thanks very much for watching today, guys. Again, please hit like and subscribe. All of your support is really appreciated. Channel's going well now. I've got my little office space, still waiting for my framed photo to go at the back. And yeah, thank you very much.